What if I told you that I can get you anything and everything you want in life? All you have to do is master one word. The word is pitch. Oh gosh, all you just went, ooh, hate pitching. It's inauthentic, it's salesy, it's pushy. It conjures up an image of some used car salesman with this fake smile and alligator shoes, right? Well, that's too bad. Because that's your limiting belief about pitching. I've gotten to everything and anything I've wanted in this life because I've mastered the art of pitching. I've generated over $2.5 billion in sales. I've got two 22-year-old twins who run their own company. You're going to meet one of them in just a little bit. I've got the man of my dreams. And I get to travel around, write books, and speak on stages impacting people globally. Woo, right? Yay for me. But what about you guys? How do I get this to you? Well, here's the really cool thing. You don't need to learn it. You already know it. No, seriously. You came out of the womb knowing this. No, think about it. You're a little baby, right? And you cry. There's a cry for being dirty. There's a cry for I'm hungry. And your caretaker figures this out, and you get what you want. It's a win-win situation. Then you get a little bit older, and you're a kid. Anybody here ever been a kid? Some of you are still kids. And that's a good thing, because kids are fearless. They're relentless when it comes to pitching. They always get what they want. It reminds me of a story. My son, 5 years old, he comes up to me, he's like, Mommy, do you think I could have a piece of candy? It's like, no, it's almost dinner time. Go finish up. Comes back a few minutes later, he's like, Mommy, if I eat my broccoli, could I have a piece of chocolate? I said, no, go wash up and get ready for dinner. A couple minutes later, there's my son. Mommy, I'm just a 5-year-old kid and I want candy. And I said, yes. Now, the funny thing is he didn't come back. So no to him was not stop. No to him was feedback on how to perfect his pitch. And he got a yes. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Who here wants to see something cool? Y'all thinking yes? Well, there's little paddles underneath your table. I already knew you were going to say yes. Raise them up. Let me see a sea of yeses. Let the record show everybody showing yes. By the way, in business, you get 2 more yeses, you get a credit card. Oh my gosh, here's the irony for me though. When I was a kid, I couldn't communicate. See, well, by the time I got to nursery school, they discovered that all my teeth went in different directions. I had a misshapen jaw, and they put me in braces. Who here has had braces for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years? 8 years. I had a full set of railroad tracks. I had rubber bands. I had headgear. And if that wasn't bad enough, they screwed this medieval torture device into my mouth called a tongue thruster. So now I'm talking like this. And no one can understand a single word that I'm saying. So how did I get what I wanted? I pointed, I drew pictures, and I faded into the wallpaper. Because kids bullied me, teachers wouldn't listen to me, and I didn't get what I wanted. I spent a lot of time those years watching movies and TV and seeing glamorous actresses walk on red carpets, and I wanted that. Well, I got that. I ended up doing a career in stand-up comedy, acting. I've starred in movies. I've been in some of your favorite TV nighttime dramas, soap operas. I had a great career. And then one day, something really weird happened, an audition. I walked into this audition and there was a paper on the table that said, sell the camera this pen. Well, I didn't come for money. I don't like to sell. But I could hear my dad's voice, even though he was gone, saying, do something different, do something magical. Well, I looked at all the other girls and I thought, they're probably going to talk about the color of the ink, the weight of the pen, the price of it. I looked at that camera and I said, funny thing about pens. I was 15 and a half years old when I got off to college. I was smart enough to skip a year, but I was so shy and insecure and very lonely. And my mom, God bless her soul, would write me a longhand note every day in a pen just like this. And I realized a pen like this can reach out and touch somebody's heart. I put it down and I went to leave. And Jake of Body by Jake comes out from behind the camera. He grabs my face and says, you're going to make me a lot of money. I have no idea what he's talking about. Well, apparently he just started a cable network 24 hours a day called Fit TV. We're going to talk about health and fitness products. And the last 15 minutes of each hour, we're going to pitch revolutionary fitness products. The ab rocker, the thigh roller, remember all of those? Well, that was my job to pitch them. 1,500 different products over 5 years. Right? Wow. Jake sold that network in 1993 for $500 million. And then infomercials came out. Talk about being at the right place at the right time. There weren't many girls who could pitch. And I did them all. Tony Little, Billy Mays, Ron Popeil, set it and forget it, but wait, there's more. You could literally turn on the TV all weekend long and find me. 197 infomercials. And then QVC and HSN happened, live home shopping. What do you do there? You pitch. I was there, I revolutionized and pioneered this whole concept. $2.5 billion later. Man, I am living the dream. And then it all came crashing down. I lost both my parents within a year. My parents were my best friends. See, they were the only ones who believed in me when no one else did. And I went home to the family house in Long Island, a very tiny little house with a one-car garage that never saw a car. Because my dad, he was a magician by day. Well, he technically built printing presses. But as a magician, he could make things appear and disappear. Coins and cards and sometimes the family dog. But he loved inventing. He was a tinkerer. He made gadgets and contraptions, and I just loved sitting in there with him. It was like Willy Wonka meets Walt Disney. Magical. And one day he turns to me and he says, "Kiddo, how do I get my ideas out to the world?" I said, "Daddy, I have no idea. I'm 8. Well, he wasn't very social. He never pitched any of his ideas to anybody. And now that he's gone, I watched the yard sale people come in and pick through his tools, and the trash collectors came in and they threw out everything. All the gadgets, all the gizmos, all the blueprints, all of it was just trash. And I had this crazy realization that if you don't get your ideas out there while you're on this side of the dirt, when you die, they die. This hit me really hard. It set me on a mission to help people just like you guys get everything and anything that you want, because I couldn't help my dad. I'm a bit obsessed with this word pitch. P-I-T-C-H. All right, shall we break it down together? All right, P. Now I'm standing on this really cool red dot, right? So P should be something profound, like permission or purpose, but it's not. It stands for playful. And that's what you guys are missing. Y'all take this pitch thing so seriously. Come on, let's have some fun. Let's have a relationship, build some rapport, get referrals. If you can play with this, guys, you can really get anything and everything that you want. You gotta be like water, you gotta be fluid. But some of you show up like ice, you're brittle. Oh, okay, that reminds me, everyone says, "Forbes, you're so good at pitching, you could pitch ice to Eskimos." Well, take away this big lesson. Stop telling people what they need. They don't need your new book or your new vitamin supplement or your new coaching program. Get them to want what you have. Eskimos, they don't need ice. They got plenty of ice. You know what Eskimos want? They want to be warm. I would pitch them firewood and blankets and it would be a win-win. Right? Okay, the I. Now I should probably be innovation, or maybe my dad's inventions, or maybe your imagination. But it's not. It just stands for I. Yeah, me. Okay, I know there's no I in team, but there is a me. And you are the center of your pitch. It's all about me. In fact, I walked out here wearing high heels and probably kind of a sexy dress. But if I came out here in a pair of high tops and torn t-shirt, you would have a different impression about me, right? Well, there was a psychological study done at UCLA that 55% of the people's impression of you before they say yes to you is based on how you look, how you show up. Are you in alignment with what you're talking about, with what you're pitching? 38% is how you sound, the tone of your voice. So if I came out talking like this, you might not go, "Oh my God, I can't hear her." By the way, that was my mother. Love you, Mom. And only 7% is the actual words that you say. Now here's another part of this. The I is who are you talking to? Now, standard businesses would say, okay, you need to have an avatar, your ideal customer. You've all heard that, right? I don't believe in that at all. See, because my ideal customer, her name is Sheila. She's 45 years old, 2 grown kids, likes coffee, not tea, hot, not cold, likes hiking, not yoga, drives a Lexus, and walks a Labradoodle. I've never met Sheila, but I've sold billions. Huh. Want to see how I did it? I take everyone who's in front of me and I make them my ideal customer. So let's say I've got a fitness product that I invented called a spin gym. Handheld fitness product, gets great, tight, sexy arms. Sheila would love that because her arm's a little bit saggy. So I've got a 7-year-old, 17, and 70. To the 7-year-old, I'm going to say, look, I watched you in gymnastics, and you need to be strong for those uneven parallel bars, right? You can do this because you're too little to go to the gym. And by the way, your mom's got your credit card. To the 17-year-old, I say, oh, TikTok star, you use this, you're going to look great in those dances, improve your posture. Excellent. To my 70-year-old, I would say, you want the rest of your life to be the best of your life, don't you? And you don't want to go to the gym, so I got you covered. You're doing spin gym on the Barco Lounger in front of the TV. What did I just do? I made 3 sales, 3 completely different people, completely different generations, and none of them were named Sheila. T is for timing. You know, if you pitch too soon, you are rude. You will sound pushy and salesy, and you will get rejected. It's kind of like asking someone to marry you on a first date. Too much too soon. And if you wait, the moment dissipates. No matter how good your product is, it's gone. It's a little like, you know, like double Dutch jump rope? Like you jump in, and if you miss it, boom, it hits in the head. Yeah, timing is everything. C is for clarity. You got to know what you want. Begin with that end in mind. You guys, I started 5 years ago an online company with my daughter. That's her coughing back there. You'll meet her in just a minute. 77,000 students later, I've studied a lot of what's wrong with your pitches. A lot of it is focus and not knowing what you want. Now imagine this. Let's say you go to a restaurant. Waitress comes over and is like, so hi, what do you want? And you're like, oh gosh, I'm really hungry. I want some food. That's nice. What do you want? You know, I don't want hamburger. I had a hamburger yesterday. Okay, why don't I come back when you know what you want? And that's how the universe treats you when you're a little wishy-washy. But if you say to her, what do you want? I want a Caesar salad, extra chicken croutons on the side. Bam! Minutes later, what's in front of you? Exactly what you asked for, exactly what you imagined, envisioned. I began with the end in mind. There's my Caesar salad, extra chicken croutons on the side. Thank you. Ooh, this reminds me. I'm walking by my house. I've got woods near my home. And I see these couple of trees, and they've got a bullseye with an arrow dead center. And I'm like, man, that's an incredible marksman. Oh, and then I see a guy. Had a whole quiver full of arrows. And I'm like, oh, excuse me, did you do that? He's like, well, yes, little lady, I did. That's cool. Think you could teach me the secret? He's like, well, yes, little lady, I can. It's quite simple. You simply fire the arrow first, and then you draw the bullseye. H is hope. My hope for you is that I've debunked the myth of what pitching is. Something to be embraced. See, you don't pitch the product or service. You pitch the hope of the outcome. Nobody joins a gym because they love treadmills. They hope to look really good in that mirror and go, man, I'm doing it. Nobody buys your coaching program because they love sitting on a Zoom call. But you are pitching the hope of financial freedom and generational wealth. That is my hope for you, that you guys, when you leave here today, that you stop asking, begging, crying, and not being all wishy about what you want, but to own it. To pitch for the outcome, to get what? Anything and everything you want. Let me see that yes while we're here. I got a whole sea of yeses. Now I'm going to leave you with this. Pitching is not just for business. This is the really cool part. Pitching is a life skill. When I roll over in the morning and I'm like, honey, could you rub my neck? And he does. That was a pitch. I got a yes. When my kids were little, so many of you who are mom and dads, you would want your kids to clean their room, right? And you'd threaten them. You don't clean your room, you're not getting dessert. How'd that work out for you? I pitched my kids. I figured out what they wanted. They wanted a cookie and some playtime with mom. I question flipped it. And I would simply say, hey guys, you want a warm chocolate chip cookie after dinner and some playtime with mommy, no cell phone? I want to see your room clean. As it like Roadrunner. The kids, the room was clean. There was no fighting in our house because we had this pitch conversation. Pitching really does this for you. And I hope that you embrace it. Because my dream is that you get what you want. And then you reach out to me at social media and and let me know that you've done that. I call it Forbesing it. Yeah, to Forbes something means to manifest it, especially when no one else thinks it's possible. So my question for you guys, what have you Forbes lately? See, there's a real secret in life. I couldn't do this for my dad. In life, you don't get what you deserve. You do get what you pitch for. Thank you.